So I suggested it to Dave a couple weeks ago when Freddie was having, had some of those big games, and he had said that they had already talked about it. So now I don't know if he said that just because he wanted to say it was his idea, but we had talked about it. Was it your idea or mine?
I'll take credit.
It was completely 100% my idea.
Is that a precursor for Freddie for Heisman?
I don't know Heisman. Certainly with the numbers he's having, I think he'll get on hopefully like a Biletnikoff watch list, or be an All-American. Or we would love our players that have. Again, it's always about the team first, but right. We certainly say what Freddie's doing is helping our team, and I certainly think he's deserving of accolades if he continues to play this well.
Had a few days since that game. Looking back on the 22 catches, your thoughts about it now?
I think what was different about this, Freddie's had some games that had a lot of catches but not a lot of yards. I think the Marshall game, he had like 15 catches for 105 yards. And I joked to Freddie, I could have had 10 of those catches. I couldn't have had 10 of these catches. Not only did he do things with the screen game, he took the short ball and made them big plays. He caught the ball down the field. He took a shallow crossing route and went 50 yards with it. He did everything that a big-time receiver should do. He made the tough catches in traffic. He got behind people. He got yards after the catch. He made big plays on the shallow cross game. And then in the screen game, I don't know if you saw the one touchdown. He literally lowered his shoulder and knocked their middle linebacker over. So it's one of the most complete games I've ever seen by a wide receiver.
Kicking game right now. He still Jerry was the depth chart on Jerry still was the number one, but Warsack made his picks last week. Where are you with that? Right?
It's all Jerry didn't lose his job. I said this after. How come you weren't at the game last week? What'd you do for fall break?
I did for fall break. I was my family for the first time.
Okay, all right. You're gonna give me the guilt trip. Jerry was hurt last week. He had like a quad issue, and he didn't kick Wednesday or Thursday. And then Friday he said he felt good. And then I watched him pregame Saturday, and he said he felt healthy, but I saw that he was kicking the ball low. And we had talked a little bit with our special teams coordinator, Adam Shire. And I said, how's Jerry feel? He said he says he feels good, but he doesn't look quite right. I go, but I think he's earned the right for the first kick. And if we had an issue with the first kick, we were going to make the change. Because Matt Norsik has kicked well. It was really a battle in camp. And Matt has kicked well. And we go out there every day and we let them both kick. And we're fortunate that we have that option. So when Jerry hit the first one low and they blocked it and returned it for a touchdown, it wasn't just because they returned it for a touchdown, but the fact that he hit a low kick that we went with Matt. And Matt was great. But I don't think Jerry, he didn't lose the job. He was just injured.
Given how well Matt's kicked, if Jerry starts to struggle again, is there going to be?
Yeah, that's a lot of players. Defensive back lets the ball go over his head too often, or the linebacker misses too many tackles, or the kicker doesn't hit kicks. You don't make changes for the sake of making change, but a kicker, we're fortunate. We have another guy that can kick the ball between the uprights, and he proved that Saturday. And the fact that he did that. There's always Jerry can't go out there and go 0 for 6. But I don't think, the week before at Ohio, he hit every kick. It's not like he was coming off a bad game. So, I told him he did not lose the job, but if he's not healthy, and he misses a couple, we have an option. But I don't want him going out there thinking it's one bad kick and he's getting a quick hook. I don't think it's fair to do that to him.
Talking about Ball State a little bit, you mentioned the running back they have, McQuail Lewis, and his numbers are down a lot from last year. Mm-hmm. What do you think that is, looking at it on film?
They lost a great quarterback and a great receiver. Nate Davis was drafted by the 49ers and was on their team. And they lost a great receiver. So, they're probably being defended a lot different than they were a year ago. A year ago, because of the quarterback and the receiving corps, it's a little bit like us. If you throw it well, people start spreading out, and now your running back has great box counts to run the ball against. And now he's back, but the quarterback's gone, the receiver's gone, and people are making it a little harder for them to run the football. But because of that, I think the quarterback Kelly Page and the receivers have really had some good games and made some good plays. So in offensive bounds, if you have a great tailback, but you have no passing game, it's really hard to run the football because the defense can always get one or two extra guys in there that you can't block. But we respect both their run and their pass game. The running back is scary good, and they get him the ball on screens a little bit. And he opened up the Temple game, and they ran a draw with him, and bang, 19 yards, and he's got a burst to him. And you don't rush for 1,700 yards by accident. So he's a major concern.
He's just a really good running back this year. Where does he rank amongst them?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he's really good. I don't try to compare. At the end of the year, when you got to vote for the All-MAC team, you have to make those comparisons. But we're not ready to do that. Certainly, Missouri's running back was excellent. The guy at Troy is. I look back and he's been running wild since then. And we faced a good one almost every week.
From a personal standpoint, as the head coach, you mentioned a little bit about how the team has a little bit more stuff, but when your first conference game and it was on the road, for you going into your next road conference game, how does that make it a little bit different this week?
I mean, as a head coach, you try to be as consistent as you can. You try to, the way you handle the team on a Sunday after the win is the way you try to handle them after a loss. This is what we did well. This is what we need to get better at. This is what we have to do moving forward. But, football is an emotional game. And, that trip back from Kent felt a lot better for the coaching staff than, the one from Missouri did and the one from Marshall. So, it's just, you get up there Sunday and you talk to the team after a win. And, now the eyes are on you a little bit longer and the ears are a little bit more open and they're much more receptive to the message. And I think that helps a team get momentum. But if we don't, take that momentum and prepare well this week, and if we don't play well this week against Ball, that's kind of it's all lost.
Coming in, you had said spring ball and fall drills, every spot was open. But on the offensive line, you had three guys coming back, and you kind of knew. Mm-hmm. With Scott Albert, you had no idea. And now you got a fifth-year senior walk-on starting. Could you just talk about what you saw from him, how he earned the job, and how he's progressed?
Just, what Scott was is just so consistent. I always like to play players that it's really, really important to. That if there's a guy that has a lot of talent and another guy that maybe doesn't have the talent, but it's so important to him that they do everything they can to make themselves a great player, I'm always going to go with the guy it's more important to. And the one thing, Scott, it's very, very important to him. If he doesn't make a block, it bothers him. He gives himself every advantage by studying film, and he clearly won the starting job. The other thing I'd say, though, is through the course of the season, certain guys that maybe started out the year not playing a lot get better during the course of the season. And I've really been happy that I think Scott Lewis, Blake Walker, Chip Robinson are three guys that have clearly improved from week 1 to week 6 in practice. That I'm a lot more comfortable if those guys get in the game now than I was week 1. So that's, we may try to get those guys a little bit more involved this week because they've really practiced well and they're getting a lot better. Another great example of that is Justice Jones. I mean, Justice Jones, he wasn't going to sniff the field game 1 unless we were up or down 30. And he has gotten so much better and has learned the offense so well and can play multiple positions for us. There's a guy that's a walk-on that's put on 25 pounds since he's been here and gotten faster and developed ball skills. And you get in the Kent game and he's ready to go. And how many big plays did he make? Now, if he doesn't make that that catch on third down, it's a different mood here for the last week. So I love guys like that. I love guys like that they work so hard at it and so important to them. And you need guys with some great talent, but if you can surround them with guys that love the game of football and care about it and work at it, that's how you build a winning program.
You not getting your 11 a.m. start, but you got a noon start.
Yeah, I like these games.
What about your team? I mean, how do you adjust with that?
I mean, everything in football is, so routine oriented. If there's a routine, we function well, and when the routine gets broken,